start things off. Peterson, Semien, and Garcia in the middle of the order. Evan Carter will be in center field. Heim catches, and Josh Young at third base, batting ninth.
The 29-year-old Jack Flaherty on the mound for the Detroit Tigers, back after last year being with Detroit, then LA, and now Detroit. 1-4 on the year, has a 3.79 ERA, 46 Ks, 229 batting average against. You look at the arsenal, he has the fastball, the slider, the knuckle curve, and the changeup. The knuckle curve is the one that he gets a lot of his strikeouts on. When we look at the Tigers defense this Saturday night, you have McKinstry in left, Riley Green moving to center field tonight, Kerry Carpenter in right, Jace Young, Josh's brother, at third base, Sweeney at short, Torres and Keith on the right side, and Nito doing the catching.
That is Nito. Well, our TXU Energy Power stats for Josh Smith, who will lead things off for the Rangers tonight. How about those great season numbers so far for Smitty? All career highs for him. The slug at .462, hitting a .321 average, getting on base nearly 40% of the time. Now, Flaherty will be an interesting opponent tonight for these Rangers. He can be really, really good, and he can struggle. We'll see which version the Rangers get tonight. Now, in addition to the contrast that the Rangers hitters, and for that matter Tigers hitters, had to deal with last night with the sun on the backdrop here, you also start this game with a pitcher in the sunlight, hitter in the shadows, and the first pitch in there for a strike to Smith.
Yeah, for the Rangers' struggling offense, this isn't great. Now look at Jace Young, how close he is right now. He's taking away the bunt. Not that I've ever seen, to be honest. I know that Josh Smith hasn't let off a lot, but I haven't seen him lead off bunt yet.
That was kind of fascinating. 0-2 to Josh, and he'll take low. Ball 1, and there was that big curveball. I always felt like the knuckle curve was a pitch that had just maybe a little more spike to it than the typical curve,
yeah.
Although I guess it depends on the pitcher.
When I think knuckle curve, I don't know who comes to mind for you, but I think Mike Mussina.
Yeah. I remember being baffled by the terminology when people
like,
first started talking about
throwing
that.
A knuckleball or a curveball? He's just spiking his #1 finger.
2-2 pitch, and that's lifted out to right field, and that one's got a chance. It is gone. Chance nothing. That was long gone. 4th home run of the year for Smith, and that's a great start to the ball game. Wow.
Man, did the Rangers need this. 2-strike hitting here from Josh Smith. He gets the breaking ball, and he crushes this ball. No doubter here. Not much movement from the outfield, and that's a good 10 rows deep.
Yeah, that thing, I mean, that wasn't close. There's Booney to greet him. And now first pitch swinging, Langford lines one out to left, and a sliding catch by McKinstry. That was nicely done. And there's the first out of the ball game.
Well, he robs a hit here, and Langford hits this ball great at 104 miles an hour. That sun's gonna play a role in the game for left fielders today.
Now McKinstry, a good defensive outfielder, and that's a nice play. Here's Corey Seager, and he'll take outside. Ball 1. Our plate umpire today is Andy Fletcher. He's also the crew chief, and we'll see what his strike zone looks like tonight. I'm assuming it'll be improved over last night's efforts.
Yeah, unfortunately we got the report, and the Rangers did not get the benefit of the doubt on a lot of calls last night from Patrick Corbin pitching.
That one a little bit low. 2-1 the count on Seager. Well, Corey back in the lineup after taking the last couple of days off. 4 home runs, 9 RBIs for him. And that one is wide. 3 balls and a strike. Now Fletcher again, discussing our plate umpire, he's not an aggressive strike caller. Just to say, it could be a good hitter's night. 3-1 pitch, and that is in the air out to right field. Carpenter angling back. That's carrying well, and it is gone. A Seager home run in the first inning, and the Rangers jump out 2-0. What a start.
Welcome back, Corey Seager. This one 403 feet and just gets a fastball belt high. And this is to a deeper part of the ballpark, too. 106 on the exit velo.
Fan
Maybe
trying to make a play there, and for fans at home, that's immaterial at that portion of the wall. As the first pitch to Peterson is outside for ball one. That fan reaching over the wall and making contact with the ball doesn't really mean anything there, because the home run stripe is down at the about 8-foot height, not all the way up over that wall. So it could be a little confusing, right? When you look, anytime you see a fan reach over a wall and touching a baseball, you immediately think, oh, well, that's interference. But that was well over the wall.
How about coming into that at bat? Corey Seager was 0 for 12 in his career against Jack Flaherty.
Well, no more.
Not anymore. You pitch to the best long enough, they'll get you.
Yeah. The lefty's having a nice time so far against the right-hander, and Flaherty's next pitch, that's a big swing and a miss by Peterson.
Yeah, and Jared Sandler on Rangers Live was talking about the reverse splits and how much better Flaherty is against lefties. So far, 2 for 2 for the lefties for 2 homers.
We love Jared, but he was a little concerned about the lefties today. Yeah. But Flaherty has yielded 2 homers so far to them. The 2-2 pitch, and that's low. Jock has been seeing the ball a whole lot better lately. 4 for 7 on the road trip with 4 walks. Now he just keeps getting on base, and he fouls that one away. He's reached base safely 8 out of the 11 times he's come to the plate on this road trip. That's outstanding.
So the best hitter on the road trip for the Rangers.
Yeah, I think there's a pretty good argument to be made for that. And he's had good numbers against Flaherty in his career, including a couple of home runs. Pitch on the way, and there's a swing and a miss. So Peterson will instead be the first strikeout victim tonight for Flaherty.
Flaherty throws a really nice 3-2 slider right here. He's maybe trying to backdoor it, but keeps it on the plate below the zone.
So it gets Semien to the plate in the first inning. 5th place hitter. Average at 175. And he'll foul off the first one he sees.
Clouds helping out the Rangers right here, because looks like the sun has gone behind a cloud, so you don't have the shade right now. All shade.
Yeah.
There's not sun and shade.
Exactly. The problem is when you get that sunlight on that hitter's backdrop out there, because it can be a pretty drastic contrast for these hitters. 1-1, and that's down the right side and curling away foul. A lot of people had a chance at that one, but maybe the guy who moved the least ended up with that treasure tonight. Well, Marcus, a guy who could really use a break. And he takes outside. 2-2. Hitless in his last 13 at bats now. Just 3 for his last 25. He waits, and Flaherty delivers, and that one is a little bit outside. And again, the close ones are probably going to go to the hitter. Now that wasn't that close, but generally speaking, Fletcher keeps a pretty tight strike zone. The payoff, and that's ball 4. So Marcus draws the 2-out walk. An encouraging sign.
Peterson had a long at bat that ended up being a strikeout, but worked the pitcher, and then Semien does a really nice job there of drawing a walk.
Well, already a visit to the mound, and their pitching coach Chris Fetter, who had been a really successful college pitching coach at the University of Michigan prior to A.J. Hinch plucking him away to the big leagues to join his staff.
That's probably rare, right, to get
Yeah.
a college pitching coach to the major leagues. Usually you'd probably maybe work through the minor league system.
He was just one of those guys kind of on the cutting edge a little bit in college, and A.J. Hinch, a guy who has always favored a little bit of the advanced metrics and some creativity, so he went right after him. It actually kind of upset a lot of folks up in this area because they liked him at Michigan. But now they like him with the Tigers. And they're pitching well here. Well, that one finds a corner to Garcia. Adolis, .226 average, 5 homers, 20 RBIs. Man, a check swing, that's in the dirt. Oh, well, they said he went 0-2.
I didn't think he went on the live look. We'll see from the side angle, and
Yep.
he went. Good call.
Yeah, they're usually really good about that. If they ring a guy up, he's probably gone. Sometimes it tricks me. I didn't think so. 27th pitch of the inning. Here it comes. And a little tapper back to the mound. Flaherty will underhand it to first, and that will end the first inning. But a nifty start for the Rangers. Josh Smith in the first at bat of the game. That thing just launched out to right. And then Corey Seager, great to have him back. A towering home run to center. Didn't take long for the Rangers to feel the impact of getting Corey Seager back in the lineup. A home run in the first inning, a 2-0 Rangers advantage, and now the Detroit Tigers 26-13, best record in the league, 2.5 games clear of Cleveland, and they will go with Kerry Carpenter and right, Gleyber Torres at second, Colt Keith at first. It's Green, Torkelson, McKinstry in the middle. Sweeney, the shortstop, Nito catching, and Jace Young at third base bats ninth.
36-year-old righty Jacob deGrom on the mound for his 8th start of the year.
Well, how about that? He comes out, by the way, and you pointed out when it happened, the sun popped back out as well.
Right when he took the mound.
Maybe that'll be an advantage as Carpenter takes strike one. Carpenter, a left-handed hitter. They have 6 lefties in the lineup, and he takes time out. 1 pitch in, and he takes a timeout. So immediately trying to slow down deGrom. Jacob right back at him, and that time the fastball's up and out. As Mike mentioned, 8th start of the year for deGrom, now at 36 years old, 2-time Cy Young Award winner. And a swing and a miss. There's that slider diving in near the foot top of Carpenter.
Carpenter did not see that pitch well at all.
Great season numbers so far for Jacob. That average, rather ERA at 2.61. Carpenter hammers that ball out to right field, and that one is gone. 9th home run of the year for Kerry Carpenter. And he cuts right into the Rangers' advantage. It's 2-1.
Well, deGrom tries to beat him with the fastball up here. He gets the ball up enough. It's 98 above the zone. But Carpenter, after the really bad swing on the slider, gets to the fastball, and not many times do you see both teams lead off the game with a home run.
No, that's a good point. Let's see if we can get Jared to research that for us. So Gleyber Torres now right-handed hitter. And he'll watch one in the dirt, 1-1. Well, that has been the weakness, such that there are any for Jacob deGrom, has been left-handed batters. Swing and a miss for strike 2 on Torres.
It wasn't a bad pitch. That ball was above the zone at 98. Now, I know you could say, well, it's a bad pitch because it's a home run. Yeah, the result was bad, but he was trying to throw a fastball above the zone. When you throw 98, you're kind of expecting a guy not to be able to get to it after throwing the slider, but give a lot of credit to Carpenter.
1-2, and that's fouled away. So deGrom has now yielded 6 home runs this year, all to lefties, and all of them on fastballs.
Yeah.
Here's the 1-2, and that's shot the other way, foul. So Torres keeps the at bat going, and that's low. 2-2.
See the arsenal: fastball, slider, changeup, curveball. Last game he threw a lot of sliders and a lot of good sliders.
2-2, and a half swing foul.
In fact, he threw out of 89 pitches last game, 36 sliders, 22 for strikes.
All right, back to Torres, and he strikes him out swinging. Got him on the fastball, 99 miles per hour.
Well, he goes with the fastball up. This one does stay in the zone, and he gets the strikeout there. I wonder what deGrom's reaction. I know there was like a ho-hum reaction, just like, gosh, how I've done it twice. One was a home run and one was a swing and a miss. Now here, maybe against these lefties, you know, I don't know. He has a good fastball, but maybe you do only show fastball for show now.
With the lefties.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you just go, you know what? I'm not going to throw it for a strike unless I'm going to go down and away, because that would be a very tough pitch to hit a home run on. Breaking ball, breaking ball. Looks like Jonah's going to need some time here. Now the other thing too, and I know in this game now it's not supposed to happen, maybe you throw one up underneath the chin. Maybe you put somebody on their back. I'm not saying hit them. I'm saying message to every left-hander in Major League Baseball: I throw 100. You feel comfortable on my fastball. I am now going to lose some, and I'm going to flip some guys.
Yep.
And let's see how comfortable you are on fastball swinging.
I like where your head's at. Let's go. You definitely want to move some feet. There's a head 0-2 here. And he comes after Keith with a slider down low. I mean, he has been the pitcher of his era when healthy. Jacob deGrom. Blistering fastball, menacing slider, and there's a heater right at the bottom of the zone. Strike 3 called. Back-to-back strikeouts for deGrom.
Well, this is a great job of pitching backwards, and he does go to the fastball to finish. This one at the bottom of the zone, down the middle. Gets the call. Jonah Heim with a good job of framing here, because this is a borderline strike. Jonah catches, pulls the ball up, frames, gets the strike call.
So now Riley Green, and he takes a fastball foul.
It's a healthy hack. He was late.
Another left-handed batter. 8 homers, 21 RBIs for Green. He's batting cleanup tonight. And deGrom right back to him. And that one is off the plate.
I think Jonah was like, great pitch. I could barely catch it.
Yeah, we didn't think about, like, from the catcher's perspective, sometimes the contrast, right?
Yeah.
That might be a little challenging. Pulled foul here. 1-2 on Green.
All right, we've gone fastball, changeup, breaking ball. That's the sequence. That changeup was nasty. He laid off of it, but had great movement.
Yeah, he almost got that outside corner with it. The 1-2 pitch. And a swing and a miss over the slider. And that thing is golden. He strikes out the side in the first inning. The Carpenter home run, though, makes it a little more interesting. It's 2-1.
Let's take a look at our StatCast 3D powered by Google Cloud. And the Rangers hit 2 homers in the first inning. Josh Smith leading off the game at 106 miles an hour, 389 feet. And Corey Seager in the 3-hole tonight at 106 miles an hour, 403 feet. Great start for the good friends who are card partners.
And now Evan Carter, who will lead things off here in the second. Bottom third of the order for the Rangers. Carter, Jonah Heim, and Josh Young. Well, Evan, who began the year in the minor leagues and has been dealing with some back issues. He got healthy, got the swing going. Yesterday, pinch hit for the Rangers and delivered a single.
If there's one thing we know about Carter, he does not chase out of the zone. So if you're trying to nibble and miss, he has really good plate discipline and laying off of balls.
Flaherty's 3-0, and that one is at the very bottom of the strike zone. Strike one. So Flaherty right back at him, 3-1, and that ball's hit well out to right field, and that one's gone. Third Rangers home run. They have as many home runs as they've made outs today, and it's 3-1.
Well, the Rangers lefties are having a game. Evan Carter, 3-1 fastball, pulled, line drive off the Pepsi side. No doubter.
So now Jonah Heim, and he'll take strike one. Heim, 277 average with 4 home runs and 11 RBIs. So Smith, Seager, and Carter have all homered already. And there's a strike. This is a good pitcher's ballpark too. Now down to that right side, that's a pretty good place to hit a home run. I mean, it's not unusually deep down there. In fact, that wall angles quickly out towards center field. It doesn't bow out with much depth, and the ball seems to carry down there.
But to your point, if you're a pitcher here and you can keep the ball in the gaps to center field, you're going to get a lot of fly ball outs.
Ball and 2 strikes on Jonah. And that's low. That's first extra base hit for Evan Carter as well since rejoining the team. Tremendously positive sign. He's looked good. You had his discipline and just bat to ball ability to this lineup, and that can maybe get some things going as Heim strikes out.
Well, to your point, and I remind people that obviously last year Evan Carter didn't have the year that Ranger fans wanted. He didn't have the year that he wanted, and he hurt his back and wasn't able to play most of the season. He's a year younger than Wyatt Langford. He's 22 years old. Most guys that end up making the major leagues don't even make the major leagues at 22 years old.
Young offers at the first pitch, and that one hit out into the alley in right field and run down by Riley Green for the second out of the inning.
Well, this ball had pretty good carry on it, 95 miles an hour, and you can see Riley Green, he starts going back at the end. He was going across, and then notice that ball's carrying a little bit further than he thought.
So now here's Smith. He started the game with a home run, and Lifts this one foul to the left side, and that one just beyond the reach of Jace Young. Josh's younger brother. First time those two have suited up against one another in the big leagues. For Smith, that was his first leadoff home run in his career. And Josh takes a strike. It's 0-2. Now, you'd say, yeah, well, it's because Simeon's always batting leadoff.
Yep.
And I'd say fair point. 1-2. Boy, sometimes it's worth remembering too how the Rangers even got Josh Smith. That Joey Gallo trade years ago, along with Ezekiel Duran. That ended up being a pretty good trade.
Very good trade.
Flaherty's 2-2. And a fly ball center field. Takes Green back a few steps. Dealing with that sunshine, but he makes the catch to win the inning. But for the second inning in a row, the Rangers using the Powerball. This time Evan Carter with his first home run of the season. He makes it 3-1.
The competitive nature between me and my brothers is awesome. It's a fun competitiveness, but yeah, the bragging rights. I already told him he better make an error when I hit it over there, because it's gonna happen.
Brother Jace, the two brothers are sharing the field for the first time since high school, and they were actually on the same team together. Josh was a senior and he was pitching, and Jace was playing shortstop, and Josh said he used to always yell at his brother for not making a play. But I have to say, it feels a lot more fitting that the two are competing against each other today, because those two are just the ultimate competitors when it comes to fighting and trying to beat each other out. Whenever you talk to Josh about it, he says growing up we were so competitive that if one of us were losing, we'd always just turn off the Xbox or run inside and complain to our mother or to our mom that the other one is cheating.
Yeah, and that's pretty standard fare, right? You gotta, except maybe the run of the mom bit, but definitely the only way the younger guys win it is if he's cheating. And there they are before the ball game today. Josh going with the cutoff just to establish some muscular dominance over his little brother. 1-2, and there's a swing and a miss. That is 4 straight strikeouts now for DeGrom.
Well, after the leadoff home run, Jacob DeGrom has struck out 4 guys in a row, 2 on fastballs, the last 2 on sliders.
So Zach McKinstry, and he'll hit this one over first, and that is foul. Wow, right on top of the line. But Jansen Visconti, our first base umpire, had a perfect look at it and made the clear call. Yeah, close foul. Good call, Jansen. McKinstry, another left-handed batter, hitting .280 this year. And DeGrom bounces one to him, 1-1. McKinstry known a little more for his defense and his speed than he is his bat. And already made a nice play tonight in left field. And he shoots that foul. 1-2 the count.
Well, this is fun. DeGrom here trying to go for his 5th strikeout in a row.
Now he's just waiting for McKinstry to get back in there so he can continue to be on the attack. Now he holds a little bit, makes McKinstry wait. The 1-2, and he got him swinging a slider, and that's 5 straight strikeouts.
Okay. Jacob DeGrom, slider on the plate below the zone. Somewhat a back foot slider here. Over the top, swing and miss. All right, let's get 6 in a row.
Yeah, it worked to Trey Sweeney now, the rookie shortstop. And he'll get that one foul tipped right into the mid for strike one. 262 average for Sweeney. Getting on base at a 338 clip, and he can't catch that fastball. 0-2. That sun is out again for DeGrom. So the backdrop very bright out there for these hitters working out of the shadows. The right-hander's 0-2. And that is in the air, heading foul, and that is out of play.
Is it okay? I was rooting for that to be out of play, so I can get the strike out of here.
I'm with you. There's a small part of me thinking the same thing, but
yeah, we need outs.
Yeah, let's just talk ourselves out of that mindset.
Outs.
Yeah, just get outs. Despite the high number of strikeouts, pitch count is well in check, I suppose, by virtue of the fact there are only 7 balls. Here's the 0-2, and a swing and a miss. He got him on the slider. And that is 6 straight strikeouts for DeGrom.
Well, Jacob DeGrom has it working tonight. The slider gets him 3 strikeouts. Jacob DeGrom, he must be smelly because the Tigers are with it.
Well, Rangers with a 3-1 advantage as we head to the 3rd inning. Real nice start to this one. 2 solo homers in the first, a solo home run the last inning, and Langford leads things off here in the 3rd, and he'll take low, ball 1 from Jack Flaherty. Langford lined out to left field. Really nice play by McKinstry out there. I'll take one away from him. Looking right into the sun. Flaherty's 2-0, and that's inside. By the way, does it feel like Flaherty is consistently falling behind Rangers hitters?
Yeah.
And his misses, a lot of them aren't that competitive.
And the Rangers are doing a good job. We have seen the Rangers chase, but to your point, these are easier takes.
All right, 3-0. And that is a high strike.
Well, he got a borderline strike call on Carter on 3-0, then Carter took him deep, so wouldn't mind seeing the same thing here.
A little grounder foul. So full count now. And Langford, it has been a tough road trip for him. 2 for 18 now on this roadie. He struck out 3 times yesterday. That's a season high. And he'll take low here. Ball 4. That's the 2nd walk that Flaherty has issued tonight. All right, a look at our Ford leaderboard now with Seager coming up. How about the exit velocity on the 3 home runs tonight for Seager? 106 miles per hour. Smith right there with him, but Evan Carter blasted that thing. 111 miles per hour. And Flaherty starts off Seager with ball 1. Corey had the last 2 days off, so he continues to come back from the hamstring injury sustained in Sacramento a few weeks ago. 1-1. They're just trying to get as much as they can out of him while they allow him to regain full strength. It's kind of hard to do, especially because the temptation, of course, is to have him in there every night. That's off the plate. 2-1.
Well, and this is one of the toughest stretches for Bruce Bochy, and having his guys play but while resting him in the 26 games and 27-day stretch.
High set, now the 2-1, and it's okay.
Well, Corey didn't agree, and Corey was right. That ball is well below the zone.
That's an unusual call down there for Fletcher. Yeah, that's in the dirt. So Flaherty piling up pitches. He threw 28 pitches in the first inning. And this one will be his 55th of the night already. And the fans, they got a great crowd here tonight, but they've been somewhat subdued by the performance. Here comes a 3-2. Langford running. That's in the air out to left field. McKinstry finds it in that sunshine and makes the catch. One away. So here comes Joc Pederson, our Papa John's key ingredients. Now you look at what Pederson has been doing coming into tonight. 4 for 6 in his last 3 starts. His exit velocity over 105 miles per hour on all 4 of those hits. And then mix in all the walks he had at Boston the other day as well. A lot of good signs. And he takes off the plate.
Well, he needs to join the lefty party tonight. It's all the left-handed hitters have hit a home run. Pederson looking to join, and Jonah's switch hitter.
No, hitter's advantage here, 2-0. And Flaherty tries to sneak one in the back door. Instead, gets a call at the bottom of the zone. Wow. Really unusual what's going on here. Fletcher opening things up.
This is going to be tough on those curveballs if it's going to be called below the zone.
2-1, and that one gets away. Ball 3.
Because of the movement there from Nido, that was called a ball, but I think that was in the zone.
Yeah.
That's always tough for an umpire. When the catcher's popping up to throw here, you can see where the location is here. That one looks like it's
close.
Really close.
Better than the previous pitch.
Yeah.
Langford leading again, and that is in there for a strike. Full count. Now, Joc struck out in the first inning. 0 for 1. And he pounds that ball down the right field line. It is gone. And Joc Pederson knew it. His first home run of the year. That's a 2-run blast. And the Rangers have put up a 5-spot early on Flaherty. There's some relief on that one for Joc Pederson.
Well, his eye and timing has been great on this road trip, and he gets a fastball up at 91, and it's a no-doubter. Everybody in the stadium knew it. 107 miles an hour on the exit velocity. First home run of the year. There's the joy, the relief.
Uh-oh. They got one heck of a chest bump there in on Booney. Brett Boone, the new hitting coach, and now Semien with a swing and a miss. They make up. All right. All's well. Here's the 1-strike pitch. And that is outside. I thought that was one of the interesting revelations day one. Was Joc Pederson saying he likes to talk sticks, so to speak. He loves bats. But he really hadn't anybody on this team that had that same fascination with bats that he had. And then all of a sudden Brett Boone walks in and they start going on. And if there's one guy who can talk more about bats, it's Brett Boone. And those two, they found an instant connection there.
Did you see how many guys were just loving that moment in the dugout?
He is a big kid. And I think everybody also knows just how important it is for him to be gone. Look at Zeke. A breaking ball fouled away by Semien. 1-2. Yeah, you get an extra piece of gum when you hit it out. Well, they got Jock talking down there, the 1-2, and that's pulled foul. So good battle here by Marcus.
Well, and look at the pitch count right now at 66 pitches in the third inning with 1 out. Detroit has action in the pen.
Yeah, that one hooked over third. That's foul. So a long day for Flaherty, getting longer. He has allowed at least 1 home run in each inning so far. The 1-2 pitch, and that is outside.
He got off to a good start with Detroit this year, but his last 4 decisions have been 4 losses with an ERA over 5.
So they get a lefty going out there, and there's a swing and a miss. Strikeout of Semien, just the 3rd of the night for Flaherty. 2 gone. All right, let's check in with Laura.
Yeah, well, guys, it's funny with you talking about Jock Peterson and the bats. He said he can't talk sticks with his teammates because they're too mentally stable. They do not switch up their bats the way that he does. But he said that Boone used to have 6 bats delivered every series, and by the end of the season, he'd have like 200 sitting around his locker. So definitely those two have something to connect on.
Yeah, I'm curious to know whose bat he was swinging right there, because oftentimes he'll just grab somebody else's bat and swing it.
Does he feel like the bat becomes hot and he sticks with a hot bat?
No, he just you know, it's based on feel at the moment. What feels good to him is, well, that's a tough call. 1-1 on Garcia.
Well, you know, guys, he told me that sometimes he just feels like a bat will run out of hits, so he needs to try another one.
1-2 the count on Garcia. Yeah, well, that certainly happens, right?
He is left-handed. Us
he's very
left-handers,
left-handed.
we can have some random thoughts that might not be the truth.
Garcia ends up chasing strike 3. The inning is done. But a big moment for this Rangers lineup. Jock Peterson, he gets in the act with a bomb to right field. And the Rangers have the 5-1 lead.
Let's take a look at our Rally House on-field looks, and Jacob deGrom has struck out the last 6 hitters. 2 on the fastball, and the last 4 have been on the nasty slider tonight.
Now it goes to work here to Tomas Nido, and he delivers downstairs for a ball.
I'd like to yell from the dugout both ways, please.
I hear you. Nido lifts this one out into center field. Oh my goodness, that was Garcia who was there to make the catch. Carter peeled off in a way that made me think he didn't even see it.
No, I'm with you. It looked like Carter was the one who was going to catch it, and Garcia was peeling off, but it was the opposite here as Garcia goes back. Carter might not have seen it. The sun is on the first base side over the stand, so Garcia, the sun's not going to be in his eyes when he's going towards center field. The sun will be in Carter's eyes going towards right field.
So the fly ball out puts an end to the streak of strikeouts for deGrom. And now Young will take in the dirt. 1 ball and 1 strike. Jace Young, another left-handed hitter for the Tigers. 118 average to start the year. And he swings right through strike 2. There's his brother Josh.
How about both brothers do not wear a batting glove on their top hand? So look at Jace here. No batting glove on the top hand. Same as Josh.
There's a swing and a miss. Strike 3. And Young is a 7th strikeout tonight for deGrom.
Well, this is the 5th strikeout on the slider. And right now, Detroit has no chance on this pitch.
So Kerry Carpenter, leadoff man. He'll take low and in. Infield shifts for Carpenter to pull the ball. He did in the first inning to the tune of a home run to right field. It was the 6th home run allowed by DeGrom this year. All 6 to left-handed hitters, all coming on a fastball. So that has been part of the story for him this season. And a swing and a miss on the slider. 2-1.
Well, that was a home run swing. I'd stick with away.
Yeah.
You can throw it hard or soft, but make sure you're on the outer edge.
Well, they are set up away, and that one is off the plate at 99 miles per hour. The first 2 strikeouts were on the fastball, everything since on the slider. His 3-1, and that's pulled down the first baseline just foul for strike 2. 5-1 Rangers on top.
With the sun right now, as it's local time 7 o'clock, Wyatt has been adjusting the shades. He is right now where that sun is directly in his eyes. Yeah. And as the pitch is coming, he's shading his eyes right now, trying to see the ball off the bat.
The payoff, and a bouncer left side of the infield. That's past Young. Langford gathers it up. That's a 2-out single for Carpenter.
Well, this ball isn't hit very well. I know it's 97 off the bat, but just drilled into the ground, but it finds a hole in the infield.
All right, so a 2-out base runner. Here's Torres. He was the first of 6 straight strikeouts, and he'll take a slider, strike 1. Torres, who was signed and then came up with the Cubs, traded to the Yankees, and he hits that ball hard out to left field. That gets down for a base hit. Carpenter will drop anchor at second. Well, maybe not as hard as I thought off the bat.
We'll see here off the end of the bat. 74 miles an hour, just a soft line drive, but it finds the outfield grass, and now DeGrom in a big situation with 2 outs.
So Heim comes out to have a word with him. Colt Keith coming up. Again, another one of these left-handed batters. Now, it's the first time today that DeGrom has actually had to deal with a base runner. Well, the Carpenter home run came and went. So this inning, the first time he's had to go from the stretch position. All right, he looks at Carpenter and delivers. That is up and out. Well, I saw a little video clip the other day of a base runner at second base looking into the glove of the pitcher. I mean, craning his neck to get a good look, and then passing on the signals to his hitter what was coming. A fastball was a tug of the jersey, a breaking ball was just a tap to his helmet.
Oh, wow.
I couldn't believe the blatant nature of it.
Not in major leagues, right?
Oh no, absolutely.
Oh, that's hurt somebody worthy.
Yeah. 2-0, not illegal, but
yeah,
definitely if you're found out, it's not going to be well received.
We'll see how well your rib cage can take 90 miles an hour multiple times.
Mike.
Well, we'll let you get on first base and try to see what the signs are and see how many bruises you can take.
It's a 2-1.
They'll stop. I guarantee you he'll stop.
Yeah.
There's a way to make people stop doing things.
2 balls, 2 strikes.
I thought you were talking about maybe college, and I'm like, yeah.
Well,
but
sure, of course that stuff happens all the time, but yeah, you got to be careful. DeGrom disguise again. Here comes a 2-2, and that is just low. That's the pitch, by the way, where he has gotten so much more chase lately, is with sliders out of the zone. Went from a 41% swing and miss rate last year to 61% this year on sliders out of the zone. Very tempting. 3-2, and there's a roller down to first. Smith will underhand it to DeGrom, and they get the out at first to end the inning. So Jacob leaves a couple out there. It's off to the 4th tonight. The right-hander looks pretty sharp, and he leads 5-1. Rangers baseball on RSN is brought to you by Toyota. The summer starts here sales event is on now. Visit Toyota.com. Hey, that's a people mover. Downtown Detroit. Kind of cool. Look at a little monorail action. Anyway, we're at Comerica Park, and Sean Gunther, the 29-year-old lefty, is on here.
Well, great job by the Rangers of getting Flaherty out of the game early with 5 runs on the board through 3.
Gunther goes to work on Evan Carter, and he'll pull it foul. 0-2. Evan hit a home run in the 2nd inning, and it was a blast. 111 miles per hour off the bat.
Tough situation, 0-2, but great that Evan Carter gets an at bat against a lefty here, gets to work on his game. It's one of the things that they wanted out of spring training, sending him to AAA, is to try to get as many at-bats as possible, and also those at-bats against lefties.
Broken bat roller back to the mound, and Gunther underhands to first. Carter retired, 1 away. Boy, that was wild. The barrel of the bat just kind of helicoptered all the way to the backstop.
Yeah, I think this one broke in his hand, kind of like Josh Young's a week or so ago, where there's such little bat left in your hand. Don't want to get splinters in there.
No, that's crazy right there. Here's Jonah Heim, and Jonah takes down Stairs. Struck out in the 2nd inning. Switch hitter over to the right side now against the lefty, and he's fared well from this side this season. We generally think of him as being a much bigger threat from the left side of the plate, but I don't know if it's the additional rest this year or what. He's been really productive as a right-handed hitter, and he fouls that one off. Two and one. He has 4 homers and 11 RBIs this year, and he swings and misses. Talked to him the other day about using a different bat as a right-handed hitter from what he might use as a left-handed hitter, and he was somewhat non-committal about it. He said, you know, sometimes that is the case, but not always. 2-2, and a little roller shortstop. And a playable ball for Sweeney, and he takes care of Jonah. 2 away. We've got time here for Budweiser. All right, 2 outs. Here's Josh Young. Parents on hand. His younger brother down at third base right now. Now, he said in the pregame he had the line about if he hits a ball down to third, he wants his brother Jace just to go ahead and boot it, make an error. And then he said, because it's going to happen. That ball lifted out to left field, carrying well, but run down by McKinstry. Another really good defensive play. And Young flies out to win the inning. Rangers go quietly in the fourth, but they lead 5-1.
Time now for our Chevy Under the Hood, and we look at Sunday versus Seattle. In his 225th career start, Jacob deGrom recorded his 1,700th career strikeout. That's the fastest player in Major League history to reach that mark. Randy Johnson and Yu Darvish, 230 innings to get to that number. 7 strikeouts tonight for Jacob deGrom, and that ties a season high. I think he has quite a few innings left in this game to go a little bit higher than 7.
So that starts. 225 starts versus 230 starts, yeah.
Yeah. Did I say it right?
You said innings.
Innings, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Oh. Left-handed brain.
Yeah.
I said it right in my head.
Well, you're still riding high from your little comment earlier. You're just over here basking in the glory of a lot of chuckles from your little one-liner. I don't blame you. It was good. Broadcasting at a very high level right now, Mike.
Thank you.
You know, and the thing is, we just want to maintain that high level.
I know.
It's a key.
Rough start here.
Yeah,
Ball 1, I can come back.
It's a 1-1. And that's a swing and a miss. Now, you established some pretty high expectations for yourself.
Well, you know, I'd love to tell you that just came to my head, but I might have had that one in the
I love it.
in the back pocket for the right moment.
You're busy incubating all sorts of clever lines back in your hotel room. The 1-2 pitch, and that is off the plate. 2-2. deGrom, at one stretch today, struck out 7 out of 8 hitters. I mean, he was just mowing them down. And now runs the count full here on Riley Green. Boy, how about the run support?
That's something he hasn't been used to in his career.
No, right? I mean, it's one of the hallmarks of his career. You think about, when you think about deGrom, you think about the Cy Youngs, the strikeout dominance, the brilliant slider and fastball combination, all these things about him that distinguish him from other pitchers. And then I think one other thing that always comes to mind is how little run support he used to get. Fly ball left field. Langford angling back to the wall, and that's gone. Riley Green with a home run to left. That makes it 5-2. That is not a cheapie out there either.
No, I didn't know, Riley Green had this in him, but this is not a fastball. We've talked about the fastball versus lefties and the home runs given up. This is a breaking ball here. Slider, 91, middle, bottom of the zone. And this ball got out pretty well, to be honest.
Yeah. I feel like I've been checking the flags from time to time, and they're actually active, but it looks like it's blowing in right now. They've been mostly calm all evening. There's a swing and a miss. Like that ostensibly would hurt the flight of that ball.
And you said it earlier, that's not an easy place to hit a home run in this park.
Oh, and 2 on Torkelson, and he takes outside. In fact, I want to say that Bobby Wilson, our own Bobby Wilson, the catching coach down on the bench, hit a grand slam to that part of the park a couple of years ago in a Rangers uniform. Might have even been on Mother's Day, this Mother's Day weekend. There's Bobby. And that was maybe it was the first of 2 grand slams in a week. I feel like for some reason I felt like it was the second, but we had that conversation the other day on the bus recalling that, and well, it was late at night and I can't remember what we decided.
Okay.
But I do remember he got on a little hot streak for the Rangers. Hit a couple of slams in the span of 1 week, and one of them right here. A swing and a miss, and Torkelson strikes out. And that is the 8th strikeout now for DeGrom.
Well, it's a season high in a game for Jacob deGrom here. Fastball down and away. Really nice location, just off the dish. Torkelson can't get to it.
Boy, April of 23, the last time he had as many as 8 strikeouts. And he buries one here to McKinstry. So McKinstry will be his 9th strikeout victim here in a couple of moments. And so then we'll have to figure out when his last 9 strikeout game performance was. That's fouled off for strike 1. Never a doubt.
Wyatt being a nice guy and going and getting the ball and throwing it to the fans, that gives Jacob deGrom just a little bit more time to recover here, because the clock doesn't start till the defense is in its position.
And there it goes. The clock now begins to wind. Not that it really matters. The 1-1 on the way to McKinstry, and that's high. Now, you may know this number right off the top of your head. What do you think the single game high for strikeouts is for Jacob deGrom?
I would guess 16.
Yeah, 15.
Okay.
2-1. And there is strike 2.
20 is the major league record, correct? Kerry Wood?
That's a Kerry Wood game, yeah.
And Roger Clemens might have done that too?
Clemens said, yeah, there's a part of me that's just terrified that somebody topped it at 21, but
okay.
But I don't know. I feel like 20 is still the record. 3 balls, 2 strikes. The payoff, and there's a swing and a miss, and there is strikeout number 9.
You called it before the at bat. Fastball away, dotted outside corner, 98 miles an hour, 4-seam fastball. You can see, even though it's 4-seam, it does have movement on it. It's not a straight 4-seam fastball.
Well, here is Sweeney, and he'll take a big slow curveball for strike 1. Now, 20 is still the record for a 9-inning game. There is a bigger number, but extra innings.
Okay. You're going to find this interesting. Riley Green's home run, because we think of this as a big park. It says on Baseball Savant that would only be a home run in 14 out of 30 parks.
Oh, wow. Swing and a miss, and there is strikeout number 10 as he strikes out the side in the 4th inning. deGrom shaking his head, but he's racked up 10 punch-outs tonight.
Well, Jacob deGrom strikes out the side again. Fastballs are doing the job that inning.
Well, we like to talk from time to time of our game within the game. There's Jace Young, brother of Josh Young, both of them playing third base tonight. But that's not all they're playing. Playing a little tic-tac-toe between innings out there near third base. This one's popped up down the left side by Smith, and Jace Young stays with it and makes the catch. Boy, not an easy play there for Young.
Not at all, especially where he starts from. Is he was playing Josh Smith well on the infield grass, and then that ball comes back on him here, makes a great adjustment. Really nice play. A guy who I'm pretty sure primarily played second base in college at Texas Tech.
Yeah. There's a ball off the plate to Langford now. Wyatt 0 for 1 with a walk and a run scored. Yeah, and I think that's been part of the challenge for the Tigers, to figure out where they're going to get Jace Young time so they can get him in the lineup. Uh-oh, that's a bad exchange. So trying him at third base.
Well, this is a team, the Tigers, who have struggled for a while and have had higher draft picks. And they've done a pretty good job of drafting guys like Riley Green, like Jace Young. And now you just got to, as they're big league ready, find the spot in the big leagues that fits the team. Torkelson, #1 overall pick at first base. I believe Riley Green was a #3 overall pick.
(3-1), and that's pulled foul. They've got an issue too with a guy like Colt Keith. They like his bat.
Yeah.
He doesn't really have a defensive home tonight. He's playing first base, but he plays a lot of second base as well. (3-2), and that's pulled foul. Tigers, though, you know, you'd think then, well, geez, I mean, I guess if Keith is not a guy with a real definitive defensive home, and Young isn't a guy who's, you know, just a defensive standout, I mean, maybe they would struggle defensively. Well, that's not been the case at all this year. They've been very good defensively. And Langford takes ball 4, his second walk tonight. The Tigers, one of the better defensive teams in the American League.
Now, I will say, if you're a big Wyatt Langford fan like we are, you do have to thank the Detroit Tigers because they had the #3 overall pick in 23. Now, they took Max Clark, who looks like a very good prospect, but he's a high school guy still developing in the minor leagues.
Now Seager, and he will swing and miss at strike 1. Big home run in the first inning for Corey. And Gunther finds the inside corner. 0-2. So lefty on lefty here. Seager got the home run off the right-handed starter Jack Flaherty. Flaherty knocked out of the game after 3 innings and allowing a season high 4 home runs. That one's belted out to the alley in right field. That should get down. It does. Base hit, and it rolls to the fence. Seager will have an easy double. Langford, with his speed, scores easily from first. And it's 6-2 Rangers.
Well, this ball's hit well. Breaking ball hangs in the middle of the plate. You can see right there that Green is playing shaded oppo, can't get to it, can't cut it off, and once he can't cut it off with Langford's speed, he scores really easily. And the great thing is Seager, dealing with the hamstring, was able to just jog the whole way to second base, not having to push it at all. Remember here, he's not going to push it on a base hit.
Yeah, and that's one thing they're going to have to be careful with Seager. They do not want to push him. Here is Peterson. Big home run in the 3rd inning. And the 1-0 pitch he'll take downstairs. 2 balls and no strikes. So again, lefty on lefty. 6 runs for the Rangers on 5 hits tonight. And that's ball 3. So Gunther being pretty careful with him.
Interesting lefty on lefty, because Peterson doesn't do this too much, but what we've seen from Peterson is against lefties is he does have a good eye. Doesn't chase against lefties. He might not be comfortable with his swing, but he makes the lefty throw strikes.
3-0 pitch, and that is in there. Peterson was headed down to first, but he'll return. Jock's good road trip continues. Oh, he shows bunt, and he takes ball 4. So he is on second walk of the inning. Semien is coming up, but it looks like A.J. Hinch with the short strides, but rapid ones, headed out there to make a move. So that'll do it for Gunther, a right-hander coming in for the Tigers in a 6-2 game.
Well, on Tuesday, May 13th, let's get some theme night tickets. They'll get you a co-branded True Brand Texas Rangers 1972 throwback white cap. It's the Rockies versus the Rangers, only when you buy your tickets at rangers.com/theme nights.
So, new pitcher as they turn it over to Chase Lee. And his first pitch is upstairs to Marcus Semien. Marcus with a walk and a strikeout so far tonight. Two 2-0. The Rangers have done a good job today forcing these Tigers pitchers to go deeper into counts. They've certainly gotten pitches to hit. And that one is wide. 3-0.
Dave, would you love to know the win probability right now of this Rangers game?
Oh, okay. Let's see. 5th inning. That is inside, ball 4. So Marcus walks to load the bases. And that may, who knows, might even affect that win probability. So let's see. Rangers are up 6-2 in the 5th. I'll say win probability is 81%.
Almost. It's 91.7% for the Rangers right now, according to BaseballSavant.com.
Okay. 91%, huh?
91.7.
Yeah. Now, I think that those numbers, when we talk about that, it's Garcia bats with the bases loaded. Yeah, that's a big swing and a miss. That they are team agnostic, right? They're not taking into account who's on the teams, the conditions, anything like that. It's just a matter of a lot of game data from over the years. Flare out into right. Carpenter makes the catch, tagging at third Seager, and he will jog to the plate on the sacrifice fly to make it 7-2.
Do you think if they would have known that there's no way Seager's going to go hard there, that they would have just winged it home?
Well, I got to tell you, when I saw him coming down the line, I thought he's in trouble.
Yeah, because he was running at, I don't even know if 50% would be the number. Now, I'm sure he would have pushed it a little bit more if he would have seen the throw going home, but he would have never sprinted protecting his body. But I was glad they didn't throw it home.
Same, and I'm a little surprised, because even if you're not clear at all on how he's going to go about his business, you would think that there would be at least some institutional knowledge or scouting report that, like, look, the guy's missed a couple of games. He's recently off the injured list with a hamstring issue. You know, we might as well challenge him a little bit, but they didn't even bother.
Yeah, you can see here the tag. He's going to go, and, 100% of the time you're going to score pretty easily, but Corey Seager making sure to keep himself healthy. And
yeah, well, I like it. Little bouncer right back to the mound, and they will underhand to first and get Carter to end the inning. But Corey Seager able to score from third after driving in a run earlier with the double, and the Rangers with a 7-2 lead.
Rangers baseball on RSN is brought to you by Choctaw Casinos and Resorts, the official casino and resort of the Texas Rangers. And by your North Texas Chevy dealers. Chevy drives Texas.
Well, Rangers having a little fun tonight in Motown with a 7-2 lead. Corey Seager's having a nice night. He has scored a couple, 2 extra base hits, including a homer. And Jacob deGrom has 10 strikeouts through 4 innings tonight, and he works to the 8th place hitter, Tomas Nido. And that's downstairs, 2-0. Once again, a great starting pitching performance by a Rangers starter, going somewhat, I don't want to say unnoticed, but unheralded on a night, because the Rangers have actually turned in a bunch of good at-bats and have scored a bunch of runs, and that's going to be the storyline, no doubt, of tonight's game, the 2-1. That's just off the plate.
And I'll say it again. I've said it before when I believe it was Jacob deGrom's last start on Sunday, is when you do get a lead like this, I know he's worked to 3-1 here in the 5th inning, it does make it easier to be aggressive in the zone.
Foul back, 3-2 the count on Nido, who flew out to right field in the 3rd inning. Infield plays him almost straight up, and he hits it straight up, right back up the middle, and Nido has a hit. We'll bring up the 9th place hitter, Jace Jung, but not before we hear from Baylor's Scott and White Health.
Get the back care you need and get back to life fast.
Well, that is kind of my thing.
Healthcare that keeps you in motion. It's not complicated.
Nido over at first, very small lead. Jace Jung, the batter. The first pitch from deGrom just off the plate, so a couple of misses to start this inning. Unusual.
Well, you wonder if there was just, that was a longer inning.
Yeah.
Maybe he's lost a little bit of his rhythm and trying to find it.
There's a strike. Good slider. Struck out the side last inning, as he did in the 2nd and 1st innings. Had the 1 strikeout in the 3rd. And Jonah Heim comes out to chat with him. Let me ask you another one. The temperature fell about an inning ago. It just dropped.
Well, you can tell that the sun, for the most part, only left field bleachers is getting the sun, so maybe that's the reason that, yes, it did drop.
So as a pitcher, is that meaningful, what we've just experienced?
No, I don't think so.
I mean, I'm pretty delicate.
You have a good sweat going and your heart rate's there, so I don't think he's dealing with, oh, I feel a little bit cold now, or not feeling the ball off your fingertips.
High fly ball to center field. Carter waits for it, and he makes a catch. 1 gone. Well, turns the lineup over for a 3rd time now.
I will say, with all the strikeouts and the 2 solo home runs, your pitch count at 83 with only 1 out in the 5th inning. This might be deGrom's last inning of work.
Okay. Yep. Yeah, he's had a nice little run lately with his offense helping him out, and you see some guys moving around anyway in the bullpen. Here's a ground ball, second base. That could be 2. Semyon DeSegre, 1 on to first in time, double play, and that may have just earned him another inning.
You're right.
All right, well, that's a beauty. Listen, you can strike him out all day long, but if you want to go deep into a game, maybe getting the double play on occasion will do you right, and it does here in the 5th.
Welcome back to Comerica Park. Rangers lead 7-2 here at the top of the 6th inning. Jake Burger is eligible to return from his option to AAA Round Rock on Monday. So far in his 4 games with Round Rock, he's 5 for 14. And Bochy said today that they hope he'll be ready to come back up when he's eligible, saying that they're comfortable with where he's at. As long as his timing is good, he said his power will be there. But when they optioned him to AAA, they were just wanting him to kind of find his confidence, because when he's at his best, he's hitting fastballs. And he was struggling to do that at the beginning of this season. We spoke with hitting coach Justin Bealey today, and he said when you're so good at something, when it doesn't go well for you, you just get confused. And he said, I think he was having that feeling when he started spring and at the beginning of this season. But once you start hitting the ball to the outfield grass again, you get more confidence. And if we can just get that confident Jake Burger back, then really that's all we can ask for.
Yeah. Yeah, so it's good news. I mean, that's why he was sent out, partly because of the struggles at the big league level. And the Rangers needed to find someone to help get the offense going. But there's no doubt the Rangers are going to need him to get back and be productive, as this little bloop on the infield is caught by Young. Heim is retired to start the 6th. 1 away. And after Jace Jung made the catch, Josh Young comes to bat. He's 0 for 2.
Still waiting for the hard ground ball down the 3rd baseline right here. some pressure on his brother.
So when he said that, like he said, I know it's going to happen or whatever he said, however he said that. Was he saying that he knows that there's going to be a ground ball to third, or that his brother was going to boot it? This one up the middle, and that's a base hit. And Young is aboard, so he has his first hit of the night. Well, that's good. I mean, the Rangers need him to get going too.
Definitely. Sidearm, breaking ball, and able to stay through that ball long enough to hit it up the middle for the base hit. Good job of hitting. I was looking at Jace as that ball was going through, and Jace was watching his brother run there rather than watching the ball.
There's his mom, Mary. Oh, yes, so she was holding up that Rangers side of that half and half jersey. Yeah, here we go. Get something going. That's right, Mary. Let's go. Josh Smith will shoot this one down the left side, foul. 0-2 the count to Smith, whose contribution tonight was that he started this game with a home run to right field, a first leadoff home run in his career, and something the Rangers desperately needed. Just a little kickstarter tonight. And he shoots that one down the third baseline, and that is foul. Very close.
Those probably aren't the easiest calls when you're trying to avoid the ball and see it over the base. See Smith shoot this ball down the third baseline, and foul. And then you got to get out of the way.
It's good athleticism right there. A swing and a miss, and Smith strikes out, second out of the inning. All right, we have a moment here for Hyundai.
A blind spot that's never out of sight. How it should be. The Hyundai Tucson.
So Langford with a man at first base and 2 out, and Lee yanks that one way off the plate. A couple of walks, 2 runs scored today for Langford. Chase Lee, a former Rangers farmhand, drafted by the Rangers in 2021, a 6th round pick. And we had seen him over the years at spring training, but this run with the Tigers, his first big league experience, his cup of coffee, so to speak. Today, his 7th major league appearance. Young with a modest lead at first. And the pitch to Langford is outside. So 3-1, good hitters count right here. Lee's pitch, and that is on the corner. Boy, oh boy. That seemed like that might have been a strike before it was thrown. If you know what I'm saying.
Well outside. There's nothing you can do on a 3-1 pitch there. You're not looking for that pitch, and well outside for ball 4.
Yeah, you don't want to swing at it anyway. Even if you knew it was going to be called, I don't know that you want to swing at it. 3-2, and that's fouled off. You're not going to do anything with a pitch that far off the plate. More than likely, anyway.
You're not looking on 3-1 to shoot the ball the other way for a single.
No.
You've worked yourself into a count where you're looking for something to drive, not to reach out.
Now, right here, you might look for something like that. 3-2 pitch, and that's down the right side, but does slice into the seats. Stays 3-2 on Wyatt. Well, it's Sun no longer much of an impact on the batter's eye. I mean, there's still the vines out there still getting a little sunlight. 3-2. And it's fouled away, but not real direct sunlight. Yeah, sun's setting, rather softer alpenglow kind of light out there.
You know, it's interesting as you look at the crowd, it's a great crowd. It looks like close to a sellout, but when you see the shot from home plate, it looks like there's not many people here. There's just one little section, and it's where you're getting to see the action. There's these unbelievably comfortable looking seats that are, I don't know, 30% full, yet the stadium is 90% full tonight.
Yeah, out in right field, the bleachers are packed. Up above, there's a big bar area and lounge area up there that's packed. A walkway out toward left center, and they're 5-6 deep, the 3-2, and that's in the air, heading down that right side, trying to get foul, and it does. Stays full. Here's the other thing, though. This crowd is really subdued tonight, very quiet.
Well, I think that's what the Rangers did by hitting 2 home runs in the first inning. Now you had the match by Carpenter to start the game off with a home run, but the Rangers getting off to a 7-2 lead, or at least a bigger lead, and it's stayed a big lead, I think has quieted this crowd that probably wants to really root on the best team in the American League this year.
3-2, and that is strike 3 called, and I think Langford knew it. Strikeout ends the 6th inning. Last of the 6th coming here in Detroit with the Rangers up 7-2. All right, 7-2, Rangers on top, and DeGrom back out here in the 6th inning. How about that? 20 swings and misses tonight, on his way to 10 strikeouts through 5 innings.
I would assume, I don't know, but I'd assume that would be a season high for him.
Yeah, same. I'm not sure that I know that, but one would guess.
We just got confirmation it is season high for DeGrom with the swings and misses, and maybe the last hitter he's going to face tonight. We'll see. Milner ready in the bullpen.
Well, he's outside here to Torres, 2-0.
Have to remember that the Tigers did load their lineup up with 6 left-handed hitters tonight.
DeGrom's 2-0, and that was close.
So
3-0.
it's Jacob DeGrom. 1, it's a strike. 2, so we're giving Chase Lee the borderlines, but not Jacob DeGrom. All right.
3-0, and that is a strike. I put it to you this way. Andy Fletcher's not trying to give anybody the the close calls. Swing and a miss. I don't think he's consciously favoring one or the other, even subconsciously. I think he's just missing a couple now and again.
Let's see if DeGrom can get the 4th strike of the at-bat here.
I told you earlier, though, Andy Fletcher usually has a pretty tight zone. And that earlier pitch was certainly an indication of that. All right, the payoff on the way to Torres. And that is low, ball 4.
Look, I'm with you, Jacob.
Uh-oh. This has not been a really good ball and strikes crew so far in this series. Malachi Moore yesterday, Fletcher today, and that walk looks to be the way that DeGrom's evening will end. He may have additional words for Fletcher on his way to the dugout. Fletcher obviously wasn't prepared to hear a lot more from him, and Jacob does keep his cool. So his night is done. Rangers are into the bullpen, but they lead 7-2. Kind of a fun shot right here from down low at Comerica Park. 7-2, Rangers on top. Hobie Milner, the left-hander, is on.
15 games this year, 16 innings pitched, 2.25 ERA, 2.11 batting average against, and let's see if he throws a strike and it'll be called a strike.
Okay, there's strike 1.
Good job, Andy.
How many arguments did you get into with umpires when you were pitching?
A few, but not many.
Okay.
I would usually walk to the back of the mound. There was no pitch clock then. So I'm like, well, if you want the game to take longer, I'll take longer to throw pitches.
Well, why? And you thought that would upset them?
I just would also be calming down myself.
Okay.
Too.
All right. Yeah. I said it's pretty passive aggressive.
Yeah. Well, it was also passive aggressive. I learned it from Nolan Ryan. I didn't throw like Nolan Ryan at all, but he'd do that too. He's like, all right, well, I'll take my time then.
Quick snap throw over there to first, Torres.
But on MLB.com, you can go to the screen. It was 4 strikes to 2 balls to Torres on the walk.
No, there's no doubt. There were some misses tonight. It happens. 1-2 pitch, fouled back. And it's a lot easier for me to take tonight just because things have gone the Rangers' way. I'm with you. Sometimes I get a little frustrated. I think these guys do a terrific job in general. But the last 2 days, today and last night, man, some of them were huge, huge misses. The 1-2. That's outside.
Well, we saw the report. The report was the ball 4. Sorry, I'm drawing a blank on the hitter.
6th inning last night.
But they're like, yeah, that was a bad miss. That was a missed call.
Sorry, 4th inning. It was Riley Green. It was a 3-2 pitch. And it was very much in the zone. The entire ball was in the zone. But it was called ball 4. Well, he then stole second and scored on a base hit. And the game ended up 2-1. So, yeah, pretty consequential missed pitch. 3-2, and a bouncer shortstop where the third baseman Young flips it to the shortstop. Seager, and is so on to first, is in time for the double play.
Great defense here, and you get the 5-6-3 right there. Third to short to first. Young getting in his Texas Tech shortstop work right there.
Those always concern me just a little bit because it's a little unnatural, the angles at which guys have to go to the base, but well done. 2 away here is Green. He's homered tonight and struck out, and he takes a strike to begin his at bat here in the 6th inning. So DeGrom is done. Milner gets a double play ground ball. And the Rangers will no doubt get some length out of Hobie today. There's a strike, 0-2. With all the lefties in there, I say no doubt. I mean, I assume that were to get Green here, he'd come out to face the right-hander with 2 lefties following.
Well, and then it's up to Hinch, the manager for the Tigers, if he wants to use his bench. Now, maybe he might want to save those righties if the game became a close game and a guy could come up and really change the possible outcome, as the Rangers do have Garcia for later in the game to use.
Yeah, it's been one of the differences this year for Bruce Bochy. He's had multiple lefties and reliable ones that he can use out of his pen. This one fouled down the left side. Stays 1-2 on Green. (7-2) Rangers on top. And the pitch, that's outside. Well, that double play, it officially closed the book on DeGrom. 5 innings, 2 runs on 5 hits, 1 unfortunate and frustrating walk for him, and 10 strikeouts. That's high. Full count now. Well, that was a heck of a start from DeGrom tonight. (3-2). And a bouncer down to first. Smith, nice pick. And he'll go to the bag himself. The inning is over. So Milner comes in, does a great job, gets us to the 7th inning tonight, with the Rangers leading at 7-2. Well, this is such a cool idea here by the Rangers. They're looking for applicants who are children of active duty or veterans of the United States military or current or retired first responders. You must be enrolled or planning to enroll in a 2- or 4-year college program and be a resident in the Texas Rangers territory. If that's you, well, beginning this year, 2 recipients are going to get a $10,000 scholarship to college. So check it out, Rangers.com/honor and valor. Do so by June 15th. Get those applications in. Meanwhile here, 7th inning has arrived. Rangers leading 7-2, and Seager will take ball 1. New pitcher in the game for the Tigers, Tyler Holton. 3rd reliever used tonight, and that's fouled off.
Corey Seager having a day. Double homer.
Yeah, he scored a couple. He's driven in a couple. And suffice to say, the lineup, everything about this team changes when he's out there. They really need him to stay healthy and available. Big open stance. And that one is in the dirt. 2-2. We've seen quite the evolution in Seager's stance here lately.
Yeah, he's more open, and it didn't start that way to start the season, as we'll look at opening day, and then we'll look at Tuesday in Boston, and then Wednesday in Boston. His stance has definitely opened up more and more as the season's gone on.
2-2 pitch, and that is in. 3-2. It was a slow start for him with that straight up stance. It seemed like things began to fall together for him a little bit better when he opened it up. Pulled foul, and then, you know, this even more open stance here lately. Today, probably the best game he's had, right? I mean, that's the best. When we're talking multiple at bats, really good contact.
I just think great hitters hit. I know stance matters to him, but I'm sure he could hit in any stance.
That ball's hit hard out to right field. That could be trouble. It's gone. A 2nd home run tonight for Seager. Keep that stance open. 8-2 Rangers.
Well, Dave, you were saying it's probably his best game of the year offensively. Now I know it's his best game of the year offensively. On the lefty, gets the fastball down and in. This ball's hit well. 91 miles an hour, exit velocity 105. 6th home run of the season, 2nd of the game.
Well, what a day for this Rangers lineup. A big sweeper. Jock Peterson. Peterson had a 2-run homer earlier. And Holton puts it on the corner, 1-1.
Just a question here. How much do you think it's just been this road trip? We're coming to the end of the road trip. How much do you think Brett Boone has kind of said anything or done anything on this road trip with guys?
Well, I mean, I think there's an impact. You know, it's not as if a guy's going to come in and just recreate how a team goes about hitting. Bouncer down to first base. Keith waits on it, flips it to Holton, and that's the first out of the inning. You know, at first you start by just chatting with guys. He's creating relationships with them, getting to know them a little bit, but there's, you know, slightly different messaging style. And really, I mean, he's just a different sounding board and opinion on what types of things may work for guys, right? You just want a different viewpoint. Fly ball out to right center field. That ball's carrying really well, and it is tracked down out there by Carpenter for the 2nd out of the inning. That's good contact, but for a long out. So, a couple of walks for Semien, but 0 for 2. Justin Veely talking to Evan Carter there. So, you know, there's scouting reports, there's the psychological side of things, and then there's approach. There's a lot of different ways to think about and go about preparing guys to hit. And you think about it, they're all so different the way they do it. So it just gives the coaching staff a little more diversity and how they can go about doing their job. That one's in the dirt. Also, I think there's a little resonance with a guy who has done it at the big league level and done it with a certain level of success, and Booney certainly represents that. It's fouled off, 2-1. What do you think?
I know that, you know, we get to be in the dugout and the clubhouse well before the game. There's times that we can be in there and can't be in there, and I know that Booney's in the cages with the guys, you know, observing, watching, and then probably saying a few things right now, and then we see him obviously out on the field during live batting practice, and you know, I would say at this point, I would say it's a small impact.
Sure. It's going to be different for each hitter. Here's a pop-up heading foul, right? I mean, it could be big impact on one guy and maybe negligible impact on another. But ultimately, you know, he will have some influence on how things get done. Even if it just, for whatever reason, makes one guy feel a little bit different, right? Like maybe reduce a little anxiety or whatever, give him a little more confidence. That matters. 3-2 and a swing and a miss. Garcia strikes out. The inning is done. I'll tell you one thing. Corey Seager right now looks like he might not need a lot of help. First inning, a bomb deep to right of center. In the 7th inning off Holton. Holton here's a hoe. That's a blast. Second home run of the night.
All right, the Rangers are headed home after tomorrow, May 12th through the 14th. Rockies versus Rangers at Globe Life Field. Scan the QR code for tickets or go to Rangers.com.
Well, Milner comes out for this 7th inning as expected. He gets the right-handed hitting Spencer Torkelson. Then a couple of lefties if A.J. Hinch decides to go with those lefties. That one's a little low, 1-1. Hinch could certainly make a move, go to his bench, but the Rangers do have a right-hander getting ready. In the event that that would happen, Sean Armstrong has been throwing for a few minutes down there. I don't think there'll be any hesitation to use him. 2-1 the count. There's a swing and a miss.
Good changeup on the plate, bottom of the zone. Here it is at 79 miles an hour. You might want to double up with that one.
That's off the handle, foul. Well, Torkelson's had a tough night, 0 for 2 with a couple of strikeouts. Both those were against Jacob deGrom, though. deGrom was dialed in. 2-2 pitch, and that one in there. Strike 3 called. The sweeper gets the outside corner. And that's a first strikeout for Milner.
A great job of pitching. Well, look at the pitch before. 87 in on the hands. And then he goes with the backdoor breaking ball, the sweeper that catches the corner. See the spike breaking ball there, and Jonah framing it up. And just to be honest here, probably the Rangers got one there. Okay. So if
I was gonna wait to see.
I've been a little bit rough on a couple pitches that I didn't feel were favorable for the Rangers. That one was favorable.
This ball hit out into the alley in right center field for a base hit. Good start out of the box, but McKinstry will be content with a single. So man on with one out, and we will pause a moment for Kia. Well, McKinstry likes to run, but down by 6, he's going nowhere. Here is Trey Sweeney, the shortstop, and he takes a strike. Sweeney, it's interesting, he's a Tiger because of tonight's Tigers starting pitcher, Jack Flaherty. There's a swing and a foul ball, 0-2. When Flaherty was traded last summer, the return was Trey Sweeney largely. There was another player involved as well, but Sweeney came over in that deal, and without, you know, you could say just done right there. That really worked out for the Tigers, and then they just go ahead and sign Flaherty back on a 2-year deal this offseason. There is strike 3 called, and Sweeney strikes out for the 3rd time tonight. 2 away.
Milner painting on the edges here. Lefty on lefty fastball, perfect on the corner to get the lefty, and that pitch is going to be the last pitch that Milner throws tonight.
Well, he faces the 2 lefties, and now the right-handed hitter due up, Bruce Bochy out there. Thanks, Milner, for the good work, and we'll hand the ball off to Armstrong when we come back.
Well, the Rangers lead this one 8-2 in the 7th inning, and 2 outs. There's a beautiful moon above Comerica Park, and Shawn Armstrong into the game for the Rangers. This will be his 14th appearance of the year. He's thrown 15 in the 3rd innings with a 2.93 ERA and a 2.04 batting average against.
So he'll go to work against Tomas Nido, and first pitch, this one pounded in the dirt, left side of the infield. Young throws over to first in time, and Nido is done. And so are the Tigers in the 7th. 8th inning coming up in Detroit. It's 8-2. Well, Mike, I've heard you talk about this on more than one occasion, but let me show you how this is done. You get your theme night tickets, and you'll have your choice of red or blue co-branded Power Rangers, Texas Rangers jerseys. That's Monday, May 26th. Blue Jays in town to face the Rangers, but only when you buy your tickets at Rangers.com/theme nights. You get this fine promotional product.
That's a good job.
Yeah, thank you.
That's a good read.
Yeah.
Looks like you've been doing this for 20 years or so.
Well, I took that particular card back to the hotel last night because I really wanted to do that tonight. Here is Haggerty leading off the 8th inning. He will hit for Evan Carter. We saw Sam Haggerty for the first time last night. Called up, made his Rangers season debut, and now asked to pinch hit here late in the game. Rangers up by 6. And this ball is lined into left field. That's a base hit. Haggerty is on to begin the 8th inning. What a night for this Rangers lineup.
Yeah, great job, and Haggerty coming in to pinch hit against the lefty. Not a bad pitch, just a really good job of hitting here. 87 down and away, bottom of the zone, and 103-mile-an-hour line drive into left field.
A.J. Hinch will go a little deeper into his bullpen now. Lead man on in the 8th inning with the Rangers leading by 6. Well, it's 8-2. Rangers with the lead, and they have a man on, Sam Haggerty, after that base hit. John Brebbia, right-hander, will be the new pitcher for Detroit.
9 innings pitched this year in his 8 games, has a 1 flat ERA and a 100 batting average against. There's quite a few walks, 5 walks in 9 innings.
Yeah, Brebbia had a little trouble earlier this year. He was on the injured list with a tricep strain and missed almost a month. And it was just activated yesterday. So we'll see. Last year with the White Sox, began the year, and eventually with the Braves for that playoff push. And Brebbia's first pitch to Jonah Heim popped up. That's out near second base. Torres takes care of it.
Torres was doing an interesting job there. He was watching Jonah Heim run, and Jonah noticed it too, and then Jonah started running harder to first base because Labor was going to try to turn that into a double play. We'll see here. Jonah obviously not happy with the hit, and you can see him watching him, and then once he takes off running, he knows I have to catch it. There's just going to be one out on the play.
Well, now Young, and he'll take strike one. Young 1 for 3, had a nice single back up the middle in the 6th inning. And Brebbia right over the heart of the plate, 0-2. See Brebbia covering his left ear with his glove, trying to pick up the audio from that PitchCom device.
Not much crowd noise right now.
Yeah, I don't know what he's working against. It's pretty quiet here as this one is down that right side foul.
I guess I'm a little bit surprised. There's still quite a few people here, but it's only local time, close to 8:30 p.m. Quite a few people have left this game in the last 30 minutes or so. And
yeah, it's been a weird crowd. Of course, we had weird crowds in Boston. I was surprised at times the size of the crowds, although the weather wasn't very good there, and then the lack of enthusiasm at times. The 0-2 in the dirt, and that one skips away. Haggerty, he's a good base runner. You got a really good read on that. He's also quick, and so he's out to second on the wild pitch.
we'll see the ball in the dirt here, and as soon as Haggerty sees it get away from Nito, he good jump and easily makes it to second base. Base hit will score him.
Pitch from Brebbia, and it's up. So a day game tomorrow. You see the numbers last year for Brebbia. A day game tomorrow, and the Rangers will head home. That's way off the plate, full count. Mother's Day tomorrow, so we'll have the pink bats. And no doubt some of the guys will accessorize with some Mother's Day gear. That's always fun. 3-2 pitch, and that is strike three. That was a good one. Young down looking.
Yeah, no complaint there. That was middle.
So back to the top of the order. Fifth time for Josh Smith tonight. Started the game with a leadoff homer. 1 for 4 now. And the pitch from Brebbia in there for a strike. By the time your career ended, Mike, were they doing Mother's Day stuff when you were playing, or did you get out just before that?
Good question. I don't think they were doing the bats yet.
Okay.
I think it was more just players were wearing wristbands, like either pink wristbands or blue wristbands. But 07 was my last year in the major leagues, and I don't recall a whole bunch of pink bats, but I think we're just using kind of wristbands or sweatbands to show.
Yeah, I think you're right. It's right around that time though. 0-2, little bouncer over the mound. Torres comes in to get it, throws over to first to get Smith, and the inning is done, so the Rangers leave a runner. Bottom of the 8th inning coming up here at Comerica, with the Rangers on top 8-2.
New center fielder for the Texas Rangers, Sam Haggerty. After getting the base hit, Rangers are leading 8-2, headed to the bottom of the 8th.
All right, so Haggerty stays in there. Jace Young leading off this 8th inning. And Armstrong's first pitch to him. That one in there for a strike. Looks like Ezekiel Duran has taken over at shortstop, and hopefully that's just because it's a 6-run lead here and a chance to get Seager off his feet.
Yeah, 2 out of the 3 times Seager hit the ball, he got to jog around the bases.
Hard one hopper second base, and Semien throws out Young. That's the first out on the 8th.
You know, usually I watch the screen just to see the pitch and the movement and location, but right there I was watching Josh Young, hoping that I could see a ground ball brother hit to brother, but didn't happen. Maybe tomorrow.
Yeah, tomorrow. They're saving it for Mother's Day. Kerry Carpenter is at a nice night tonight, and he takes low and in. Homer in the first, single in the 3rd inning. He did bounce into a double play in the 5th. Armstrong gets him to foul that one off.
Well, maybe Bochy has his computer open and it says the Rangers have a 99.1% chance of winning this game, the win probability. And wanted to make sure that Corey Seager doesn't do any harm to his hamstring.
Yeah, I mean, it's pretty obvious, right? Corey hurt the hamstring, spent the time on the IL, came back, no rehab assignments, no additional time, and Boch has been judicious about how he uses him, and even missing a couple of games there. You just the most critical thing right now is keeping Seager in the lineup. You got a day game tomorrow, so short recovery time. So you just got to be a little bit careful sometimes. And it is getting cooler tonight, the 1-1. That just missed. Ball 2.
Well, say the other thing too is, obviously it didn't miss, but it was called a ball, is right now Jock Peterson is seeing the ball well, he's hitting the ball well, and usually he's going to DH. So if you wanted to DH Seager to get him off the shortstop position, you kind of need to move Peterson to first base to make sure his bat's in the lineup.
Fly ball out to center field, and that one gets down. Extra bases for Carpenter. He's got good speed. He's trying for third, and he is in there.
This brings the Tiger fans to life here, and we'll see Haggerty tries to make a play on it, can't get it. I'll tell you right here, if Langford hits Duran on the cutoff, I think they're going to get Carpenter at third. This was a big risk. Down by 6 runs. Here's the throw. It gets over Duran, 1 hop. And if maybe he hits Duran and then Duran with his arm, I think there could have been a close play at third base, which would have been bad base running if you get thrown out at third in the 8th inning down by 6. But it worked out.
It definitely was a curious move. And you're right. I mean, I think Duran's arm, and we've talked about it from time to time, but even with the information we've given over the years, I don't know that it is understood just how good an arm it is. I mean, he throws strikes and he throws hard. All right. He's a great one to hit on the relay, but did not happen that time. And now Garcia kind of firing things up down in that bullpen for the Rangers. A man at third, 1 out. Here's Gleyber Torres. 1 for 2 with a walk tonight. And he bounces that to shortstop. And Duran throws him out. It does get the run home. And it makes it 8-3.
Well, Rangers will definitely take the out here for the run scored. Here now down to 4 outs left for the Tigers. Nobody on base.
Yeah, each of them are massive at this point, these outs. And now Colt Keith 0 for 3. Armstrong's first pitch, and that one right in there for a strike. Rangers have struck out 12 Tigers tonight, and the Tigers have had a lot of swing and miss. After a night where the Rangers swung and missed quite a bit against Tarik Skubal, it was Jacob deGrom generating a ton of whiff today. And that one hits the corner. 0-2.
We came in talking about deGrom's slider and the 11 strikeouts on the slider. He got a couple early on the fastball, and then the slider was pretty spectacular for quite a few strikeouts after that.
And that's fouled away. We will reset here. So last night we did our best to highlight the excellent effort of Patrick Corbin and the way he threw, giving up 2 runs on 7 hits. Today, deGrom 10 strikeouts in 5+ innings, allowed 2 runs. That string of Rangers starts where they go at least 5 innings and allow just 2 runs, they keep piling those up. But again, you have to acknowledge the fact that it's against, here anyway, one of the best offenses in the league. 0-2 to Keith, and that one's lined up the middle, and right there for it is Duran. Nice catch. Inning over. Well, the Kitty Cats get a run back, but the Rangers defense continues to be superlative. Wonderful play by Zeke, and we head to the ninth.
This Monday, May 12th, let's get a Wyatt Langford Cycle bobblehead presented by Dairy Max. Rockies versus Rangers, the first 15,000 fans. Tickets at Rangers.com. Just a little bit of a heads up, if you've never tried to get a bobblehead before, get to the stadium early.
And here we go now, 9th inning. Langford fouls off strike 1. Couple of walks tonight for Wyatt. It's a good point though, Mike. Those bobblehead nights, the big giveaways, you really do want to get there early because fans show up and they line up outside. Seems like hours in advance. A 1-strike pitch. That one sails a little bit on Brebbia. 1-1.
Yeah, those are days that if you get to the park maybe 20 minutes before first pitch and think you're getting a bobblehead giveaway, you're probably going to be disappointed.
Yeah. Oh, Wyatt takes low, ball 2. Wyatt's been pretty quiet up there, pretty calm tonight. Well, he did take strike 3 in the 6th inning, and he knew it.
That was the inning I was having a little bit of a fit on the balls and strikes, as Wyatt did get a call that was a couple inches off the plate away that was called a strike on him, which put him in a tougher situation.
You can get a little fussy when you don't get your nap. 3-1 from Brebbia, and that is in, ball 4. So 3rd time today that Langford draws a walk. Yesterday was the day he struck out 3 times. Today he walks 3 times.
Well, and yesterday he was facing Skubal, so were the Rangers, and so that was going to be a tough day, most likely for anybody. But then Skubal showed up with his best stuff of the year.
Eight to 3, and now Duran, he will take strike 1. Zeke came in defensively last inning for Seager. And Brebbia pumps one in there for a strike. 0-2 the count.
Well, you'd love to see Duran somehow, some way pull those AAA stats up here to the major leagues. He hit .346 in his 14 games down in Round Rock.
Well, we know it's in him. We have seen it. And he chops this one towards shortstop. That ball died a little bit. The throw to second, not in time. That is weird. That ball seemed like it slowed down on its way to shortstop. And so everybody is safe.
Well, playing here, the grass is a little bit thicker. I think it can catch the ball a little bit more. Now he's jammed here. It's only 1 hop into the grass, but Wyatt Langford is one of the best on these routine ground balls at hustling and getting to second base as fast as he can, and does a great job here of hustling and beating out this throw.
That's just a good teammate. Yeah, that's a good shot there of the grass, especially Here you're just coming into spring as this one is lofted back of second base. And the catch made by Sweeney. There's the first out of the inning. Saul Semien for a 5th time tonight. He's walked a couple of times. He's also struck out and flied out. By the way, it should be, I don't want to mislead anybody, make sure that we're clear that Duran, with that ground ball to shortstop, he's on via the fielder's choice, not a hit, as that one is off the plate, ball 1.
You know, I've always, I don't know, I want to say strongly disagree, but it was a ball that if you throw it to first, I think he would have been safe too. Now, is there a scorer's discretion there, or once he throws it to second, it's just not going to be a hit?
No, I think there's a discretion that's in play there for the scorer. Yeah, I would think as a former pitcher.
No, I definitely want it to be. I want it to they call it an error as far as I'm concerned. If I'm on the mound.
Runner goes from second base. That's a called strike. And Langford steals third, his 7th stolen base of the season.
And that's huge because now a fly ball is a sac fly. Good jump here. He goes before movement. And there's no play to be made.
2-1 pitch, bounced up the middle, and a diving effort, but off of Torres' glove. And then Duran with a great read sprints to third. Semien gets a run in. That should be a base hit. And it's 9-3 Rangers.
Oh, ground ball up the middle here. And both guys go after it. Good effort. Torres gets a glove on it, but yeah, this should be a hit. And Zeke does a great job of running there aggressively to give the Rangers another opportunity that if you get the ball out in the outfield and it's a fly ball, now it'll just be a sac fly RBI.
Heck, if you put it in play. There's a bouncer third base. Duran scores. They get the force out at second, and there are 2 gone. So an RBI ground out for Garcia, and the Rangers have put up 10 runs tonight in Detroit.
Well, this is a great answer after struggling yesterday against the reigning Cy Young winner, and to come out tonight and to hit the homers early and now manufacture runs late.
Yeah, there's so much going on in this game today. Like you say, the productive outs. I mean, Garcia had a sac fly back in the 5th inning, and now an RBI ground out. Well, that's great. 0 for 4 with 2 RBIs. Haggerty pinch hit last inning, and he shoots that one foul. Got the base hit. That was off Holton.
So now we get to watch him bat from the left side here.
The switch hitter called up yesterday, helped give the Rangers some help from the right side against the lefty starter Skubal, and he strikes out here against the righty Brebbia, and the inning is done. But the Rangers scratch out a couple more runs. They're in double digits tonight. Bottom of the 9th coming. It's 10-3.
This copyrighted telecast is presented by authority of Rangers Television LLC and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form, and the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of Rangers Television LLC. Well, the Rangers bring on their closer in a 10-3 game. Luke Jackson taking the mound to get the final 3 outs. Now, he hasn't pitched since Sunday, so this is his first game to pitch on the road trip here. 14 games this season, 6 ERA, 250 batting average against. I'll tell you what, Dave, these Rangers come into this series against a Tigers team that was averaging 5.47 runs per game. And as of now, they've scored 5 runs in the 2 games against the Rangers.
Right. Only the Yankees had scored more on average this year in the American League than these Tigers. But you're right, yeah, the Rangers, they have effectively held them back nicely. Now Riley Green, and he will take, pardon me, that is Justin Henry. Malloy hitting for Green. And he swings and misses 0-2. So Luke coming right after him. That's fairly standard for him. 0-2 pitch and a swing, and that one foul tipped. Well, breaking ball looks pretty good right now. How tough is it for a guy to take a week between outings?
It's not easy, but in the long run, this is going to help the Rangers and help Luke Jackson, because they were playing in so many tight games and using Garcia and Milner and Martin and Luke Jackson so much. So yeah, it's not the easiest, but now you're in a 10-3 game. So this is where, if you're just not super sharp, it's not going to hurt you in a 1-run save situation game. So maybe tomorrow Luke Jackson is coming in a 4-3 game in the 9th inning with the lead, and will feel a lot more comfortable about that situation.
He spikes the breaking ball there. 1-2 the count. A 7-run lead, bottom of the 9th inning. And the pitch on the way to Malloy. And that's in the dirt. And just a spectacular time of night here as the city lights come up. That sun is just about set. And you get the dusk lighting on the Detroit skyline off in the distance. Two on the way. And that's fouled over to the right side.
The other thing too is sometimes in these situations you might throw pitches that you might not throw in big time situations. I'm not saying you won't throw a curveball, but maybe he's just like, I want to work on this pitch here. Right. And if this was a big time situation, maybe he'd run a fastball up. And I'm not saying he won't do it now, but this is where sometimes your go-to pitches you might not go to.
Well, Luke Jackson having trouble right now with that pitch com.
He's saying
they're trying to assess the ball, and they're saying apparently there's not going to be any leeway or forgiveness here by Andy Fletcher. And Boch is upset. Look, I mean, it is one caveat on the pitch timer is if the technology doesn't work, then you need to give him a little leeway. But the violation makes it a full count. Now, that said, if it wasn't working, then why haven't they changed it out? So it must be working now. Here's the 3-2, and that just missed. You can tell Luke Jackson not at all pleased.
Jonas pretty ticked off too.
Again, it's been a somewhat aggravating series with the umpiring so far in the first 2 days. Now Luke needs to put that behind him, though. Now go to work here on Andy Ibanez, hitting for Torkelson. And Ibanez bounces at third base. Young to second, 1 on to first, 2. Double play.
Just setting up the double play.
That's right.
Wanted to work on his double play pitch. First pitch, Ibanez to Young to Simeon to Smith. We're 1 out away, and what's interesting here is Luke Jackson and Fletcher, the home plate umpire, are discussing something. I think they're not arguing with each other. They were just having a discussion on the situation. I was a little bit concerned there, but
yeah.
Here's in between. I guess maybe saying, better communication, so I get it earlier. so I can give you the leeway. That's what I'm assuming. It was a cordial conversation.
So 2 gone. And Zach McKinstry takes low. 10-3. Rangers leading. What a way to spend your Saturday. I hope folks who tuned in tonight have enjoyed watching this Rangers team hitting the ball, pitching the ball really well. Maybe you're out at the lake, got the TV on outside. Maybe you're
setting the scene for a good Saturday evening.
Man, yeah. Get me a frozen awesome, and let's go.
Earlier, I thought you were bringing me a Budweiser when you made the call.
I know.
So it's time now.
I did kind of jerk you around on that one. There's a pitch from Jackson, and that one misses in. So he has walked McKinstry.
He's grabbed the rosin a couple times. I wonder if the ball's just a little bit slick on him right now. Licking the fingers a lot, going to the rosin bag.
Well, this has been great, right? Just sort some things out here after taking basically a week off. It worked to Sweeney, and the runner heads to second base on defensive indifference. Sweeney's had a tough night tonight, 0 for 3, and now heading to third on the most incredible indifference you've ever seen. And it's like, dude, we don't even know you're here. Now, in a lot of social settings, like, that's kind of insulting. Doesn't feel very good when people listen. McKinstry, you're seen. I want you to feel seen. Here's the 0-2, and that's outside. Now 1 strike away from putting the finishing touches on this one. The 1-2, and a little tapper foul. Well, a lot of good news from tonight's game, and now, and maybe I'm getting a little ahead of myself, but you start looking forward to tomorrow. If you're the Rangers, and a chance to maybe get out behind Nathan Eovaldi with a series win, the 1-2 pitch, and that's popped up foul. I mean, you get another good pitching performance from Eovaldi, and bigger still, you just hope this Rangers offense shows up like it did in tonight's game.
Yeah, you're playing major league teams. The Rangers have had the toughest schedule in Major League Baseball so far, and after tomorrow's game, you get the Rockies. The schedule gets a little bit softer. It doesn't mean you can't play well and still win. You got to play well to win major league games.
And there's strike 3 called. And fitting in perhaps to this game, a called third strike ends it. And the Rangers get out with a 10-3 win here tonight.
Nice finish from the Rangers staff. Another great ball game, and it ends with Luke Jackson hitting the bottom of the zone. Rangers take this game 10-3. Jacob deGrom with a great start, and the Rangers with a great offensive performance.
This was a fun one tonight, and now really looking forward to Mother's Day and a chance to win a series tomorrow. 10-3 our final score. We'll take a quick break, come back and wrap this thing up for you in just a moment.